Welcome to Tech Tip Daily. Today I'll be showing you how to use Grok for beginners. To begin, simply go to Google and type in grok.com. From there you'll be prompted to either create a free account or you can utilize your X account if you do pay for X. In the case that you have a verified X account, that will qualify and you'll be able to use all of the features on Grok. Obviously with some limitations. As you can see down here, there is Super Grok with fewer rate limits, more capabilities, and you'd obviously have to pay more. We'll check that out in a second, but for the free users you get the vast majority of it. However, there are some rate limits and you'll be missing out on some features, which I believe would include the deep search and of course the think mode. However, everything else I'm pretty sure would be utilized and included in your free account. I'll be operating on a paid X account to show you guys some of the capabilities that Grok has for beginners. It's incredibly cheap. It's only about $11 a month, and that's included in your X account. That has other benefits that come with that as well. Now let's see what Super Grok is. We can go ahead and click Go Super, and it'll show you the comparisons between the two. For instance, with the free model, you're getting Grok 3, the Aurora images, context memory, and limited access to all the other features, where if you're paying the $30 a month or their yearly amount, you'd get a bunch more stuff, which, if you plan to use this for work or something else, it might be worth your while. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and utilize what I get included with my X paid subscription, the basic paid subscription, and we'll see some of the things that you can utilize with Grok. Now, when starting with Grok, even from the beginning, I'd recommend going and clicking on your profile picture in the top right and going to Settings. From there, you can adjust things the way that you like in terms of how you'd want the AI to be responding to you and how things look. You can go ahead and see here that you can adjust the appearance to your system, and you can set it to light mode, dark mode. I prefer dark. You can have like all these other little prompts such as display your message in the markdown, and then we can go ahead and scroll down, and this is the more important part. So behavior, that is how the AI will be responding to you. Now you can click on these different features that you would find useful to yourself. For instance, here we can see read web page content of pasted URLs. That way you can paste URLs and it'll take a look at it, and all these different things that it'll basically change the way that Grok operates with you. Now another important part would be to go to customize, and here you can basically get customize how you want Grok to respond to you. You can customize it exactly how you want it to, or you can go with one of the few prompts that they have already designed. So for instance, if you click concise, it'll be very brief and direct. Instead of Grok giving you this long, extremely long and detailed answer, it'll be very direct. As opposed to formal, let's say you're trying to write something for a business email, it can help you do it in a more formal tone. Or you can click Socratic, where it's like if you're trying to get Grok to teach you something, this would probably be the best one. I usually use concise, or you can go ahead and customize and organize it the way that you would see fit. For instance, answer fast but also detailed. But we'll leave it as its default that it is. And we can go and you can see the data. There's data controls that you can adjust. This is another fairly important setting if you want to go ahead and change some of this. For instance, personalize Grok using X. It can basically operate off of your X account. You can click that off if you want it to just be strictly an AI mechanism. You can also improve the model by allowing this data to be shared with the training models. You can go ahead and click that off if you don't feel comfortable sharing that information. And you can also take a look at personalized Grok with your conversation history. This is similar to what happens with ChatGPT, where it has memory. So basically your past saved conversations will be integrated into the responses of your current question thread. So if you don't want it to be doing that and you want each question thread to be independent, I'd recommend turning this off. I like to leave it on because most of my questioning is usually the same. And it can also go ahead and see files and assets, and you can I'm pretty sure you can go ahead through here, which is another feature, and connect it to Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, and in doing so it'll have access to your documents that are on these apps, and it can utilize that information in the questioning that you are asking. So going through this set of settings is recommended, and it'll help simplify your experience going forward when utilizing Grok. So now that we have our settings set, mine are just rested in default, but you can go ahead and integrate different techniques and try to see what Grok is really about, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and ask a very, not complex but interesting question that a lot of people would be interested in. How was Joe Biden a better president than Donald Trump? Now, obviously that's subjective, but let's go ahead and ask it with a deep search. Or actually, we'll utilize Think for this one. It'll take its time, and we can see what Think does. As you can see, it takes its time and really analyzes the question, and it'll analyze data online and public opinion to come with an answer of its own. Thinking is probably a better way of getting answers to your question as opposed to just utilizing Grok in and of itself. It's not as quick. However, it does take more time and really processes the information of what you're asking it. Now remember, with the free version, you're going to have a limited amount of that. With the free version, I'm not even sure if you have access to this. However, even if you do, you're going to have a limited amount, and the same applies for the basic paid account like I have. So if you wanted to utilize this a ton, I'd recommend going and buying the Super Grok package. So in this case, see, it gives you a nice detailed answer, and it'll give you its response as to why following data and public opinion. Now, obviously don't take that as fact, but we'll go ahead and go back. Now you can also utilize deep search, where it'll go ahead and not only deep think, but look deep into, for instance, deep search would be more viewed as a research mechanism if you're looking for data or something that you would want citations or some sort of niche topic summaries. I'd recommend using deep search. While it is similar to Think, Think is more a, I guess, philosophical, complex, step-by-step logic type of utilization of Grok. It'll take into consideration different, I guess, philosophical aspects of something as opposed to deep search being more data-based. So if you're using deep search, it would be better for something, let's say, like if you're writing a school paper as opposed to using Think, unless you're working in philosophy. Now, so let's say, has the cancer rate risen in the past 3 years, and why? Let's just see what happens with this. So see, what deep search is a little bit, it's very similar to Think, but now it's actually diving into data from different archives and actual citations, and it's going to provide you with an answer that follows that more academic line of thinking. As you can see, deep search takes a little bit longer because it really is processing the data. Now, I'd basically say that, in comparison, Think mode is basically for more logical, self-contained problem solving, while deep search, I guess you could say, is for gathering and synthesizing more externalized data. And, you can use both, but this is much better for academic purposes. Now, in utilizing all these different features, you can also go here and click the little attach icon, and if you wanted to ask Grok a question about a specific file or picture, you can do so by uploading a file. You can add a text content, which is separate from it. You can utilize recent documents if you have, and like I said earlier, you can connect your Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive to utilize the connected apps so that Grok would actually see your documents without having to upload them individually. You can also utilize the image generation tool with Grok, similar to ChatGPT, so you can ask it, create a photo of Joe Biden with a mullet. And let's see what happens. Oh, it's still on deep search. It shouldn't be on deep search when doing this, but let's see what pops up. And it's actually really fast in comparison to ChatGPT. However, I find the quality is better on ChatGPT. However, this has definitely improved. This is pretty good. So when wanting to generate a photo, you just simply ask Grok, can you please create a photo of such and such? And you can add details to it if you want. You can basically add in the previous photo, make Joe Biden blue, for instance. But that's how you create photos. Now, also with Grok, when utilizing it, you can adjust different aspects as well. You can go into latest news. You can create or utilize different personas. For instance, a doctor, even though it's not a doctor, you can ask it medical questions, not a therapist, as a therapist. And this is basically like a pre-programmed version of Grok that would be responding in the way that you'd like it to, like an unhinged comedian, loyal friend, companion. And you can adjust that as such by clicking those and then asking it questions. This is a new feature called workspaces also, which you can basically group your files, chats, and custom instructions for organized workflow. It's just more for work-oriented usage. And finally, you can also go up here, as you can see here, and you can switch to private chat. That way the data is not saved whatsoever. It's very private and condensed to your own data set. Like, they will have no access to what you are asking. That's ideal if you want to ask very personal questions, in my opinion. You can also upload images and have Grok edit it specifically by uploading it through the edit image area, which is great for creating logos or adjusting photos that were already created or that you have saved onto your computer. And finally, you are typically utilizing Grok 3 at this point, as of this date, and you can go and click over here, and you'll see which options you have in terms of which Grok you are utilizing and how you want it to respond. Similar, like I said earlier, you can basically customize the instructions and enable search so that it can go on the web and search for more details of the questions you are asking. In this case, the custom instructions, there's none, but we can go ahead and click this, and you can, as I shown earlier, ask it to be more concise. Click that, and it'll be more concise for you. Finally, if you want to reference your past conversations and you want the memory mode either turned on or off, like I showed earlier, the past conversations would be held up here in the top right in the history section. You can go ahead and click that, and from there you'll see the past conversations that we recently had with it. If you no longer want these conversations saved or utilized, if you have memory mode on, you can go ahead and click the delete button, and that will erase it from your why is it not delete? There you go. It'll erase it from your data, and it'll no longer be able to utilize it in the memory mode or have it saved for you whatsoever. And if you were in private mode, I'm pretty sure that would not save whatsoever either. And that's pretty much it. That is how you utilize Grok for beginners. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you can, please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.